Richard Sherman is coming off IR soon, potentially tomorrow. And when he is healthy enough to play, do you think the 49ers will instantly put him back in the starting lineup?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. He's Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
I think because he's so famous and has such a great resume and is such a big personality, I think, and the fans love him.
Yep.
And the fans believe the team is better with him. I think there'll be tremendous pressure to play him. So
right.
I don't know if he's coming back for the Rams game or whatever game he comes back for, but I think when he says, I'm ready, I want to play, and plus his teammates probably admire him, that they will play him. Now, Iggy, I think it'll be a mistake.
Yeah.
Play is wrong. I don't mean play. Start.
Yeah.
Start.
Yeah.
I think it would be a mistake. I think they could bring him in maybe in nickel situations,
Yeah.
But I think they're going to start him. It's a mistake, but I do think they're going to start him. What do you think?
I see what you're saying. It's like you don't go into a business with a player of Richard Sherman's caliber and ego if you're going to be like, hey, this week we need you to be a supporting actor. Like, that's not what he does. If he's on the field, he's a star or he's in a starring role. I see what you're saying there. I think like Robert Saleh almost sometimes feels like he can't tell Richard Sherman what to do. Like, Richard Sherman's Richard freaking Sherman. But what the Niners can do, maybe they can buy 1 week and be like, look, Richard, man, we love you. You're the greatest. Pump up his ego. Be like, you're going to start. You're going to get back out there. But you haven't played since week 1. I mean, I think it would be bad for you to go back out there and play potentially 70, 80 snaps your first game back. You could re-injure yourself. So let's protect you and play you half a game. Only in certain situations. And then in the second game, we'll give you your starting job back. Well, is that what you tell him? But if he plays poorly, you'd be like, oh, we got to reevaluate that. You give him a 1-day game tryout with half a workload and see how it goes. And I think you could get him to sign off on that. It's like, dude, be careful. You don't want to get hurt again. It's been 3 months. So I don't know.
By the way, I love your scenario. And I think it's the correct way to think about it. Somehow I don't see it happening is all I want to say.
Right.
And let's,
because he thinks of himself as like Kobe Bryant. Like, if Kobe Bryant's ready to play, he's not coming off the bench and playing 20 minutes. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm here. I want 25 shots and 40 minutes. That's just the way I am. That's how I play.
I agree with you. And let's summarize real quickly why he shouldn't be starting. And one is he's not fast anymore. So what offensive coordinators could do would be to try to run him across the field a lot.
Correct.
Try to run him.
Run him from one side to the other. That's a lot of running. And so what Saleh has to do, he's always has that fear in his mind that they're going to call that is I got to play zone. I got to play zone. Because if he's in zone, he doesn't have to run across the field. He's just responsible for one little quadrant. And he's good at that. But if you only call zone all the time, how good is your defense really going to be? Especially when you go up against great quarterbacks.
Yeah, the percentage of passes completed goes up.
Way up.
Goes way up if you're only playing
downs. You can give up more first downs. The drives extend. You're on the field longer. They have a different identity without him, and it works. I had Eric Davis on the show yesterday, and he had a very interesting point. He said that Sherman should move to free safety. And I was like, really? I would think that he doesn't have enough speed for that. And he laughed. He's like, look, if he can play corner, he can play safety. I played corner. That's a harder position. I played with Merton Hanks. And this guy, Richard Sherman, could be the next Merton Hanks. I'm not arguing. If a guy who played with Merton Hanks and knows Merton Hanks that well thinks Richard Sherman could do similar things, I'm on board. It seems to me that the Niners have good athletes at safety, Jimmy Ward and Jaquiski Tartt, but they never intercept the ball. Richard Sherman does that, and it might be more helpful, like in the future, to have him in the middle of the field than on one side where you can avoid him. I don't know. Interesting thought.
I have a question for you. This is a very good point. Why is free safety easier than corner?
Because at cornerback, you really have to cover wide receivers man to man a lot, which means you have to be even more athletic than the wide receivers because you're reacting to their movements. They know what they're doing and you don't, and you have to react and get to the ball at the same time that the wide receiver does when it arrives, and that's extremely difficult. Safeties can be a little slower. They don't have to chase people around like that. They can look at the play. I think that they don't have to have the same level of quickness, speed, agility, the stuff that you lose by the time you're about 31. You don't have to have it. And that's why you saw Charles Woodson move from corner to safety, Rod Woodson move from corner to safety, Ronnie Lott moved from corner to safety. He did it younger, but you see it happen.
Right. And a free safety, someone who's bright, as bright as Richard Sherman, can see the whole thing developing and can make very good choices, like a center fielder.
Absolutely. And even though he may not be as fast as Jimmy Ward, he'll react quicker. He'll identify what's going to happen. He'll be a step ahead of Jimmy Ward, and he actually might have 4 interceptions in a season like he does at corner. It's actually very interesting. I think what so I had Eric Davis on. He said it. I wrote it. And then Mike Schumann went on Twitter and said, well, it's a good idea, but his body's breaking down. Safety is a very physically demanding position. Can he do it? And then Eric Davis comes in and says, hey, Merton Hanks was 170 pounds. So I got like Niners from different eras arguing about the best way to construct this defense. I think it's pretty interesting how much of a family this organization is. A lot of people still feel like, I want to tell the Niners what to do. I want it to be the reason why the Niners turn this around. I like that.
Right, because they feel like a family.
Yes.
They do. They feel like a family. They feel we are the 49ers. And, the Raiders feel that way as well.
Yes, absolutely. The Giants feel that way as well. The A's have gotten rid of all their history. They don't think about it, talk about it, honor it.
You mean the San Francisco Giants?
Yes, the San Francisco Giants. They're very good at that.
Absolutely. And, I want to say something, Iggy. When I was talking earlier about elite organizations in professional sports, I would include the San Francisco Giants.
Yes, I would as well.
But not the A's. Because, and look, there are many wonderful things the A's have done, and they've won World Series. So God love them. But that organization is so cheap and won't hold on to their great stars. It's like getting rid of Mickey Mantle. You know what I mean? In his prime. You can't do it.
And what's interesting about the A's is they've given the blueprint for other small market teams to compete, like Tampa. And I feel like those other small market teams have had much more success with the A's blueprint than the A's have. There's something about the ownership with the A's that is just rancid.